Is that the Austin's props?
My man, how we doing? It's been a while since we've hopped on a stream, but it's always good to see your face.
I know. Likewise. I've missed these live streams, man. We're finally both settled at the same time. We've both been, at least one of us has been completely free or completely busy. I feel like this is the first time in a while we're like, all right, let's run it. And
Sounds like
I'm
it's gonna be
glad
a
we are.
big weekend then.
Oh yeah, has to be, right? How can you not be excited? We've had 5 weeks of actual reliable data, watching football. We know who's who a little bit. We got some injuries to work with and find some edges. I think this is starting week 6. We see things really take off.
I
And
agree.
that starts with not today, tomorrow, Thursday night football. It's gonna be. We've had some good primetime games. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, primetime's been solid. The chat seems to be excited. We wanted to get this stream out day early just to be able to see it before lines move. We might go live tomorrow, but wanted to just come on here. It looks like we got a lot of returning people. Reggie, how you doing, brother?
How we
Chad,
doing, everybody?
appreciate you coming in again. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good game. These Niners Seahawks matchups usually are. I feel like they're usually pretty high offensive games. So interested to hear your opinion. We haven't talked, obviously, offside camera of where we're at. So interested to pick your brain, see where you see this one.
I'm going to sound square here, but I feel like at some point 49ers just have to stop shitting the bed. Like, we can say, oh, it's because they don't have McCaffrey as much, but it's still Debo, Ayuk, George Kittle. Jordan Mason is running like a fucking madman every time he touches the ball. McCaffrey only does so much for a team as good as the 49ers, but Hufanga is out, which I think does change some things up for the 49ers. What's the spread? 3 points?
3.5 points, 49 point over under, which I thought, I wanted to play the over, bro, but the 49, that's a high line.
That's a high line.
That's priced pretty high.
For a primetime game.
I leaned the over before the line came out. Last week I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, that's going to be a good primetime to finally target an over. But I didn't think it would be at 49. That's a little higher than I was expecting it to be priced at.
And, bro, I've seen, sites that put projections out for game stuff. I've seen a lot of those sites projecting the overs still. Even at 49, they're projecting 50s and stuff. And
it's kind of like that Seahawks defense, though, is you know how they were overshadowed the first 3 weeks. Everyone was like, these guys are legit because they played Bo Nix, they played Jacoby Brissett, and then they played who's the week 3, another cupcake, a backup quarterback or something.
Can't remember.
But nonetheless, I think I agree with you. I kind of see the Niners running with this one.
I think they have to, and I think when you look at the stats, the Seahawks run defense is pretty solid, and I think they are. I think as a whole their defense is slightly above average, but I don't think it's anything special. The Niners dominate time of possession, the Seahawks don't. So really the only way into this game for the Seahawks is just 50-yard bomb on a drive,
right?
One methodical drive. They'll always have one of those, and then you need to hit on one more big one. If
100%.
You're not getting at least 2 giant scoring plays here and you're not dominating the clock, which they don't, you're in trouble. Like we saw with the Lions game, they played really well, but they still lost that game. And I think it could be a lot of the same here versus 49ers.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think obviously 3.5 point spread shows that books think it will be competitive. In Seattle, kind of a tough spot to play sometimes. Also, that quarterback I was talking about, they faced Skylar Thompson.
Yep, we see it in the chat.
I mean, this defense hasn't faced anyone. Who they play last week again?
Giant.
Oh yeah, Daniel Jones looked great. That was probably the best I've seen.
Without Neighbors, by the way. Without Neighbors. Robinson obviously had a big game. But I lean a Niners ass kicking here. I like 7+ point win. I would say ass kicking, but I think they cover pretty easily here. I think they'll have control the full game. The only way I really see them losing this is by a stupid turnover or something. Like let's say they're up 2, they're about to score to tuck the game away, and then there's an interception that turns the game around, which is it's always in the realm of possibility. That's why we love football. So I'm not going to plant my flag and be like, oh, Niners 30-point win. But I think the whole time of possession thing, I think that's going to be
It's hard to be first in time possession in the NFL and be as successful as you are and not win games.
Right. No, I agree. Well, but part of me thinks Seattle, they've been awful with time of possession lately. Like,
because their pass rate over expected is one of the highest in the league.
Right. And part of me thinks that evens out a little bit too. So I'm kind of interested to see if that's why it's a 3.5 point spread,
Yeah.
Like, do they think, like, I don't know. We'll get into our plays a little later, but like Kenny Walker, I played his rush attempts. The lines moved quite a bit, but that was kind of my lean, is that they're going to try to get him the ball, run the ball, control clock a little bit more, which, I mean, if that's your read, it could be a good under at 49 if you think this game's a little slower pace. I'm not going to target that, but I don't know. This game's interesting, and there's a lot of offensive weapons in this game that I think are playable. So I'm excited for it.
So since was Sunday the 6th or the 5th?
My birthday was the 5th, so that was Saturday. Sunday was the 6th.
Okay, so since then, these are the 3 press conferences the Seahawks have had. We need to get the run game going. We need to get Kenny Walker the ball more. That was in the postgame presser. The next day, Mike McDonald, the head coach, said, we all know we need to run the ball more. We have to create more situations where we can run it as well. That's twice. And then the very next day, all right, more balloons. I still don't understand how that works.
Hey, many balloons, big fella. Many balloons.
So the next day, which was yesterday, 2 quotes. We got to get the ball to Kenneth Walker more. We leaned on the wrong thing last game. I think if we had gotten Ken 10 to 15 more touches, things look different. 10 to 15 is a lot, by the way, guys. Like, that's like, we're probably talking 12 rushes and 3 catches. So that's 3 now. And in the same press conference, we're not running the ball as much, and so the play action isn't as believable. Establishing the run is critical to a lot of things. So in 3 days, there have been, those are the only 4 quotes, by the way, that I'm looking at. I'm not picking and choosing. Those are the only 4 quotes that have been worth headlining out of these press conferences, and all of them have been about Kenneth Walker and establishing the run.
100%. Well, and like you saw it last week, Zach Charbonneau, I believe he had a 22.5 rush line. He's down to, or Charbonnet. Is it Charbonnet?
Yeah, Charbonnet.
He had a 22.5 rush line. It's down to 13.5. I think his role is kind of on the way out. He's a solid piece, but I think they are fully with Kenny Walker.
They love him, bro.
They love him. And he's a good back. You know what I mean? Obviously, I think last week he's coming off an injury, banged up. Maybe that's why he wasn't as utilized. But
no, because the week before was the Lions, where he had 3 touchdowns and ran the ball like a bajillion times.
Was it 2 weeks ago that he's coming off injury? I know he was missing some time.
The Lions game was his first game back.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's why Charbonnet's line is continually dipping. But I all signs point that they want to use Kenny Walker big this week. And the thing is, though, is if they get down early, they're not going to be able to.
Somebody said to try throwing a peace sign, and that's how I get the balloons.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Outside of that, though, if we want to get to the receivers, they're really good against the slot, which is not good for Jackson Smith and Jigba. So we're looking at DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They're normally good against the wide receiver 1, but DK Metcalf should still technically have, in terms of who he's going against 1v1, he should have a favorable matchup there. So you could go either way. I was really close to playing Tyler Lockett, but the coverages that the Niners run aren't as favorable to him, so I just kind of stayed away. But I should go back and check. But if I'm not mistaken, both teams are really good against shallow passes and really bad against the deep ball. So for anybody that wants to play DK Metcalf, I think that could be very useful.
So you like the longest reception?
Yeah.
That was the line I was eyeing. DK's got an absolute.
McDuffie isn't on either of these teams, my friend.
Yeah, McDuffie ain't out there. But
that's Chiefs.
22.5 longest reception. I played this last week. I believe it was last week, potentially 2 weeks ago. The weeks get confusing sometimes. But last year, 12 of 16, he went for 22.5 longest reception. This year, he's hitting 3 of 5. He had a 22-yarder last week. I just could be an interesting line, man. These longest reception lines have printed for me so far this year. It was one I was eyeing with DK. I didn't play it yet, but could be a spot.
So here's what I'm looking at on FTN right now. They have a stat called DVOA, which is basically defense above average, and they put it as a percentage. So against a deep ball, it's like a 53%. I don't know if boost is the right word, but positive means good. They're 53%, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th worst in the NFL. But against short passes, they are 6th best at negative 22%. That's for the Niners. If we want to go Seahawks, Seahawks are just one down on the deep ball at 51.5%. And they're pretty average against short passes. But that goes to show both these teams will get beat deep and down the middle, which that's kind of why I wanted to lean Lockett at first, was because I feel like he's more between the hashes. But DK, I mean, he can easily catch and go, run a post or something, and
he's gone.
He can fill that role. So deep shots down the middle are where you want to target against both these passing defenses.
I fully agree there. That the thing about Lockett for me in JSN is they just have so many mouths. I feel like it's tough targeting those because they're all three great receivers. You know what I mean? Like there's no clear cut for me.
Yeah, DK's a clear cut one.
Well, DK, but I'm saying like JSN and Lockett to me are very similar. I think JSN obviously they like better, and he's gonna be a better player. Lockett getting older, but like Geno Smith still will chuck it to Tyler. You know, so
oh yeah. The nice thing about Tyler is he's always open. The issue is he doesn't run after the catch. He's catching it and falling it, which like people give him shit for, but that's obviously I'd rather have a guy that catches and falls and doesn't miss a game for 10 years than a guy who catches and runs and gets injured for 5 weeks every season.
100%. Availability, bro. Like it's important.
Somebody's asking what's Ayuk's line at? That's a good question. Let me check.
I didn't look at him a ton. I have not liked his target share lately.
He's getting open. I don't know what is going on with this offense in terms of like where targets are being given. I don't know if that makes sense. But let's see. Oh, I didn't save it on this computer yet. All right, let me just go check OzGym then.
Another thing is if you want to join the Winnable 15% off discount, you get all our plays, all our stuff early access. We have an awesome Discord community that you guys are able to chat with, entertain. Will and I talk in there throughout the day, throughout all the sweats. So it's always fun vibes in there. If you don't want to, no sweat. You're still going to see the content, but lines have been moving obviously drastically, especially during these primetime games. So
100%. We're trying to target opening lines too. So like there's a couple lines I'm looking at that are only available on FanDuel and haven't even opened on other books yet. Every time I found one of those that I liked, I'll post it. By the time it opens on other books, there's crazy line movement. So you want to get on those when you can. What's Ayuk's line at? It's 64.5. I think that's where it should be. I think he's going to have a good game, but I was hoping it was like if we got like a 55.5 or lower, then I'd be like, oh, like they're overreacting. The line's too low. Let's go jump on it. I don't necessarily think that's the case, especially after a loss where they didn't run it. I felt as much as they should have. I think they're just going to be like, okay, let's get back to what we know we're good at and just hammer the run.
That's fair. You should check out Deebo Samuel's prior history against the Seattle Seahawks.
It's really good, isn't it?
Oh my God.
I know.
I mean,
Deebo Samuel loves a divisional game.
Dude, against the Seahawks, I'm just saying, if you're looking at a receiver, Ayuk and Samuel, I highly, highly recommend checking deeper into Samuel over Ayuk personally.
So my projections really like Deebo Samuel today. The hard part for me that I couldn't get over was the fact that they're way worse against the deep game than the short game. If it was the other way around, I think I would have played Deebo today.
That's fair. Not giving away all my plays early yet, but just
hint, hint.
Small nugget there.
Somebody asked about Purdy over passing yards in the chat. If you think the Niners win, then don't play it because his hit rate, the splits between when the Niners win and lose are very clear in his passing yards, pass attempts, pass completions. So I wouldn't, but if you think it's going to be a dogfight and it could go either way, then I'd go ahead and play it considering the deep ball. What's Ayuk's longest reception? Now that I'm like talking through everything, I think that could be a sneaky
23.5.
That's not bad. What's the hit rate looking like?
DK is up to 24.5 longest reception. Jesus. It was 22.5 this morning.
No, it's okay. So it's 22.5 on Hard Rock, 23.5 on most sites, 22.5 on MGM. It's 25.5 on FanDuel.
DK's got 24.5. The two sharpest books have 24 and 25. That could be
I don't know if I'm calling DK and FanDuel the sharp books.
Yeah, maybe not sharp, but popular.
I'll say popular. I don't know if I'll call it sharp. Who is that looking up? IU, longest reception. Let's see.
Geno rush attempts. I have not looked at that prop.
I haven't looked into it myself, but I've heard people have been liking it. Not only like for this game, but this season, people have kind of been all over it.
Winning game script too. He could get the kneels at the end of the game. That will never happen.
Well, no, he doesn't. Geno wouldn't have the winning game script.
Oh shoot, sorry, I was thinking of Purdy.
Well, at least according to what we're saying, if you think Seattle wins, then yeah, you have that. Purdy rush yards, bro, has been green so far this season.
It has been green.
I missed this report in the preseason, but somebody was showing me something, I think a few days ago, where apparently he said that he wants to run the ball more this season. And he said, like, I don't know if he said he had deceptive speed, but you see that thing going around where he was like, oh, I actually have a faster 10-yard split than McCaffrey and Debo.
Yeah, like he's sneaky fast.
Yeah, but like it's true. Like they matched up the 10-yard splits from the combine for all three of them, and Brock Purdy was the fastest between the three.
That's insane. I would never have guessed that, but that's crazy.
He has 11, 11, 11, 7, and 12. That's for longest rush, and his longest rush line is 7.5.
Damn.
The one he missed was New England. If I just go for rush yards in general, damn, 11 or more in every single game, but the line is 11.5.
Oof.
So he has 2 games right at 11, 1 game right at 12, and then 41 and 33. I want to see, is there a book with 10.5? That could be the biggest bait ever.
Could be a sharp line though.
It's 11.5 is the lowest line, and then there's some 12.5, 13.5, depending on where you look.
You want to go over this PP entry?
Let's do it. So
this will kind of show you guys where we think the game script goes.
Yes. So let me share my screen. You guys see this okay? So
I can see it, yeah.
Correlated, obviously. That's kind of the best way to beat Prize Picks right now because there's some combinations they're not adjusting for enough. So first of all, we're targeting the fact that the Niners are going to be winning the game. They're going to run more with Jordan Mason. They're going to pass us with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is under this line in 19 of 22 wins in his career. So as long as you think the Niners win, which we think they do, he should go under this line. On the flip side, I'm actually on Jordan Mason as an official play. I've already posted it. I posted to Winnable last night. I posted to Twitter a little bit later for free, but 17.5 is just, he's hit this in every game except one. The one he missed was last game where they lost versus Arizona. So one, they're probably saying, fuck with the game plan last game. We're not doing that again. And two, they're probably saying, hey, we gave you a little less workload because we had a short week coming, so we could keep you fresh for Thursday. They probably thought Arizona was going to be an easier matchup than Seattle. I would if I were the coach. So if they're picking and choosing, that's probably how they were running it. So I think his rush attempts go over. And then on the Seattle side, Geno Smith and DK Metcalf, touchdown correlation. Every time we don't take the wide receiver one to get a touchdown on one of these slips, it feels like they always do. So we're just going to trust the process.
Yeah, we're not going to get cute and pick JSN or Lockett. We're taking the one with the best odds to go get his ass in the end zone. Geno Smith, we see trailing in this one. We also obviously already discussed it's a 49-point spread. Points are going to be scored somewhere. They don't do great at controlling time of possession. That obviously helps Jordan Mason get more touches if Seattle's not controlling clock at all. That also means they're probably trailing and they're probably passing a lot. We just need DK to catch a touchdown, and this one I feel super consistent with. I'm not going to lie. I love this slip.
Oh, I think
every Jordan Mason carry is a win for us because it's one less pass attempt. You know what I mean? Like it's so correlated that I really, really like this slip.
I would 100% agree. We got Sid and Mailman, 2 goats in the chat. Welcome in. We missed you guys. I need to get back to hitting up some of the smaller cappers I used to talk with. I miss those guys.
You got 2 big time, huh?
No, I couldn't think of a better word. I tried to catch myself before I said it because I knew it was going to come off wrong, but I couldn't pause for too long.
But he got his follower count up too high. He can't do any content with the old guys.
No, they know I love them. They know they're good people. I don't want to hear it.
That's crazy, Doc.
All right, I want every one of my followers to go follow Sid and Mailman now. How about that? Let's get them up there with me.
There you go. That's love.
But that's what we got for the Prize Picks card.
I tell DK. What up, Colin? How's it going, brother?
Colin, what are the odds on this that you got on DK? I forgot to check on that. I'm curious what the value on this is on Prize Picks. Please don't tell me like plus 1,200 or some shit. I'm gonna be upset.
Nah, no way. Honestly, maybe though, because you have to play some of them at plus money. You know, like you have to play Purdy 31.5 under.
Yeah, but especially on DK adjusts for correlation like a bitch.
Yeah, fast.
Like they're like, oh, you have two players on the same team. Doesn't even have to be correlated. Minus 150. It's like, dude.
Well, we said this. Like, Prize Picks is going to adjust. This is obviously what's popular now, so we're jumping on it because it's a fun sweat. A lot of people like the 4-man Prize Picks slips. You know what I mean? But eventually, if they're losing money, they're going to adjust. This shit won't last. It won't be available forever. But let's keep exploiting it until it isn't.
100%. And then is there anything else we want to kind of go over in the game? Or
no, I think that's kind of where we see it. We're going to have a few more plays coming out on Twitter like throughout the week, today and then tomorrow. Obviously, we'll have our Sunday stuff out throughout the week, but just can't express it enough. Get all our action early in the Winnable. 15% off if you use code LIVE. It's at less than $1 a day. Like you're really not paying much. We put a ton of great work in there, so do as you wish with that. But best way to there.
It's something that we wouldn't be doing it. Like we were free for how long? 3-4 years. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't think there was value to doing it for you guys. If we wanted to just do a money grab and screw over the community, we would have done this years ago. But that's not the point of this. So if that's any way of showing you guys, hey, we think this is worth it, we want you guys to be a part of it, I think that's the best way I can kind of portray that.
100%. I think that's well said.
I do want to look at kickers real quick.
Yeah, I'm plus 950 on DK right now.
Okay, so we stole a little bit of value. I'll take it. I'm trying to find the place that I looked at drives, like data for drives.
Bill Toilet Water showing love. Appreciate you, bro.
Bill Toilet Water. That's a fun little name right there.
Gotta love it.
NFL drive stats. Here we go. All right, and then I can share my screen as well. This is on FTN. You do have to pay for it. Just don't tell them that I'm putting this on the screen. But honestly, one of the easiest things you can do is just go on field goals per drive and see who ranks. So we can go ahead and just take the Seattle kicker, considering the 49ers are forcing the most field goals per drive. And where's Seattle rank?
He's going to go like 2 for 4 or 1 for 3 and miss 2.
That would be horrible. We can look at touchdowns per drive. So it's like if somebody gets in the red zone, obviously we want them to – those are the hot areas for field goals. So we want them to be able to limit the scores. And we want low touchdowns per drive. San Fran is pretty mid. Seattle's also pretty mid. So nothing there. But the field goals per drive is really the most important thing.
Did you know, Doc, that we have – not the best with math, but 13 days until October 22nd, where NBA opening day is?
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, it's coming. We're less than 2 weeks away.
Dude, I feel like once NBA comes, we're just not going to be sleeping.
Oh, probably not, but that was the most fun we had. If you guys want to
I can't wait. I'm
last year, we made so much money off just waiting for injury reports and then hammering lines. I hope you guys tune into those because those were so much fun. I know Reggie, Colin, a lot of those guys were here every day and they had a blast. So,
oh yeah,
we will be doing those daily. So,
yep. Just real quick, I realized I was looking at offensive stats, not defense. So let me go ahead and fix that. San Fran's still up there, not as high. Seattle, I don't know where Seattle is. Not much worth there. So never mind. No kickers today, guys. Sorry.
I'm done betting kickers. This is the worst bets ever.
I'm not gonna lie, they've been pretty solid for me so far.
Sitting there and hoping that they get a stop and put one through the net is just so ass.
But it's the sweat's so fun because you have to sweat that they get far up the field, but not too far. And then if you don't want them to be like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 and get a stop because then they're gonna go for it. So it's like
you're begging
for sweating a Nerfy for 60 minutes. It's so fun.
Yeah, fuck that.
No. All right. We got anything else to add, or pretty much covered everything?
That's all from me. Chat, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them. We're gonna wrap this thing up here in the next couple minutes. But no, I think that's it, man. Excited for this game. We might go live tomorrow, depending if we add any extra stuff or we have something to talk about. But stay tuned. We got a lot of great content coming, man. NBA is literally down the pipeline. Your boy's a season ticket holder at the Blazer game, so if anyone is going to Portland games, let me know. I'll be there. But that's all for me.
There is no NBA team in Cincy. Never mind.
Yeah, I just was like, fuck it, man. I'm buying them. I'll make content. I'll be around. I want to be a round ball, you know.
I'll move somewhere soon with an NBA team, and I'll buy season tickets then. I'll drive up to Cleveland for a couple games.
How close is the Pacers?
An hour and a half, 2 hours.
You can make that work.
Yeah, but I'm not about to buy season tickets for that. They play like every other day.
That'd be a shit. Yeah. I live 12 minutes away, so it's a little different.
Yeah, no. So should I move to Portland or?
Well, what is there to do in Portland? Let me ask you that.
Go to Blazers games?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. For me, it's like, dude, I'm gonna be home watching making content, doing the shit. Might as well do it at the arena, you know.
Hey Shane, I need you to hit one more bucket so I can cash this prize.
Yeah, I'm in the second row. I'm gonna be yelling at these motherfuckers. Yo.
We'll get some good video content out of Austin this year, guys.
We will. But that's all from us, fellas. Once again, make sure you get in the winnable if you're not yet. Dr. P, it's been a pleasure. Let's cash out.
Of course.
Good
and
vibe.
David, I'll take you up on that, so be careful.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, take care, everybody. Again, join the winnable. Use code LIVE if you want a discount if you haven't already. Couldn't recommend it more, and we will see you guys on the next stream.